This Friday Night Lights high school football preview show is presented by Villa Maria College, advancing educational opportunity for all of Western New York.
This is Jack Kreuzer for BTPM's Friday Night Lights. Let's talk Class C football in Section 6 for 2025. There are two teams in this class that played in state championship games in 2024 at the JMA Wireless Dome in Syracuse. One of them new to Class C this year. First and foremost, Class D state champion Clymer Sherman Panama move up from Class D, now playing in the C South Division for the first time in program history. Making way for the Wolfpack in Class C are the Newfane Panthers, the top seed from last year's playoff run. The Panthers are no more in Class C. They dropped down to D this year, so there will be a new winner in Class C North. And boy, oh boy, is it going to be quite the match between 9 teams in Class C North, no weeks off for any of those schools. Clymer Sherman Panama move up to Class C, but they lose a handful of players from last year, and most notably, their head coach. Ty Harper steps down at CSP after winning his 3rd state title in the span of 8 seasons with the Wolfpack. He now takes over at our first team to look out for this year, Chautauqua Lake Westfield Brockton. The Eagles had a pretty decent season last year with 6 wins under their belt, and they return a great bunch of seniors to start this season. Head coach Ty Harper steps into a great situation, but there's certainly a learning period when you take over a program and implement a complicated offense like Ty Harper's. The Eagles return a great group of players surrounding their quarterback, including running back Thandon Bensink, Nick Jacobson, and Devin Hughes out wide, and look out for Asher Olson, tight end, defensive end, who stands out when you see the Eagles play in Class C. Purely for his size and athletic ability, could be a great player moving forward for the Eagles. But if the Eagles are going to make a run not only to the playoffs but to Highmark Stadium, they'll need our Connolly Cup watch list player to perform, Braden Gibbs. This is his 3rd year as the starting quarterback for Chautauqua Lake Westfield Brockton. He threw for over 2,000 yards last year as a junior, with 32 total touchdowns and 5 interceptions. The way that Gibbs protects the football gives the Eagles a chance to win game in and game out. Certainly with a quarterback-friendly head coach like Ty Harper coming in, Gibbs is expected to be just as, if not more dominant than he was in his previous 2 seasons as the starter.
How have you worked to kind of incorporate some of your language and still some of what the team already knows?
Yeah, definitely. That's a great question. These kids have been really receptive to coaching, and they've done everything that we've asked them to do over the course of the offseason. I was approved as a head coach in early March. We had a meeting at the end of March, and we started, working together with 7-on-7 and weightlifting in early April. And it takes time. It takes reps. Takes practice. We're watching film together. We're trying to, get them more comfortable with the terminology. But like you said, you don't want to bury the things that they did well either, and that kind of comes from watching the film of what they did well last year and trying to incorporate some of that into what we've done well historically. So trying to marry those things together and getting these kids to buy into what we are asking them to do. They've done an exceptional job of it. We just need to keep getting better every day.
So much talent on this roster coming back from last year and the years before. Braden Gibbs at the helm at quarterback. This is 3rd year varsity, the first year working with you. You've had plenty of great quarterbacks that you've coached in the past, including Connolly Cup finalist Tate Catanese last year. How does he compare, not necessarily ranking-wise, but play style to some of the quarterbacks you've already had?
Well, I've been so fortunate, to coach, so many gifted kids. And, obviously quarterback is one of the most important positions in sports. He does things, probably a little bit differently than some of the quarterbacks I've had in the past. He's a good athlete. He can run. He has a very strong arm. He can make all the throws. I think a lot of it is getting him comfortable in the offense. That's something that I can say, for both Tate and, Garrett Hinsdale before him. Those guys knew the offense, like the back of their hand. And that's not on Braden. He just, hasn't had as much time in the system. But do I think that he can be just as successful? Absolutely. Given his athletic ability, his work ethic, he's a guy that has made every single offseason activity that we've had. So I can't say enough about his work ethic. And again, it's my job to get him comfortable in that offense as quickly as I possibly can, and limit maybe some of the things that he doesn't like, and build on the things that he's done well in the past. And I think with how hard he works, he's going to have a really successful season.
The Salamanca Warriors are the defending Section 6 champs in Class C. Surprising it took this long to talk about them in our Class C preview, but it's because of the loss of talent from a year ago, including their quarterback Maddox Isaac, who was an unbelievable athlete at the helm of the Warrior offense. Not only on the gridiron, but on the basketball court as well. Isaac was one of the most talented Western New York has seen in a while. Replacing Isaac this year at quarterback is Peyton Bradley. The linebacker, wide receiver, turned quarterback will certainly be effective in the Warriors' run game this year, and if head coach Chad Bartozak can employ his running skills well, the Warriors will be a tough team once again in Class C. There was some concern that the Medina Mustangs wouldn't have a team in 11-man football this year, for sheer number reasons. But head coach Eric Valley put on that recruiting cap, and the athletic director / head coach got to work. He found the players to make the team viable for 11-man football, and despite having small numbers, what they lack for in size, they make up for in heart. The Medina Mustangs are one of the most traditional, proud teams in Western New York, and there's no reason to think the Mustangs will take a year off from success despite the small roster size. Their heartbeat this year will be the running back Christian Moss. Over 1,800 rushing yards a season ago, 26 touchdowns on the ground. You add in a junior quarterback who's a tremendous pitcher on the baseball diamond, Preston Woodworth. He's got a mean fastball, and if he can hone that in and spread it around the field, Medina, despite their roster size, could be one of the toughest teams in Class C if they can stay healthy throughout the season. Another team vying for the top spot from Class C North to replace Newfane, who's out of their division, are the Eden North Collins Raiders. Last year, with a first-year head coach, Charlie Karstead, they went 3-6. But the Raiders returned their starting quarterback, 4 of their top 5 receivers, and their lead running back. Eden North Collins looks to take that top spot in Class C North because of their quarterback. Brady Waring is on our Connolly Cup watch list for a reason. He was a 58% completion percentage quarterback last year, throwing for nearly 2,700 yards through the air. 30 total touchdowns, just 5 interceptions. A lot of numbers for you, but they all speak positively about the senior quarterback for Eden North Collins. You add in the Nellis brothers out wide with terrific speed and agility and ball-catching ability, and that trio could lead Eden to the top of Class C North and get back into the playoffs in just the second year of head coach Charlie Karstead's tenure. My dark horse in Class C is a newly combined program this year, Southwestern and Frewsburg. The Titan Bears are looking to shape up into a really powerful team that sneakily built a great tradition over the last 6 months after combining the two teams. The coaching staff is what stands out first. Head coach Jake Burkholder remains in charge from Southwestern, but he adds in the entire Frewsburg coaching staff. Combining the players and the staffs allow development throughout the course of the season that very few teams at that level get in one-on-one time with each player. Not only do they combine Southwestern and Frewsburg, but also 2 players who transfer in from Falconer, Cassadaga Valley, Maple Grove. The Markham brothers go from rival to rival, transferring from Falconer, Cassadaga Valley, Maple Grove to Southwestern Frewsburg. A mouthful, but the Markham brothers certainly make it worth it. They were tremendous last year at Falconer, a big reason why Falconer was in the playoffs a season ago. Now transferring over to Southwestern, added talent from Frewsburg, and the tradition that Southwestern has built over the course of the last 5 seasons under Burkholder's tenure, and the Titan Bears could be a sneaky team to make a run at Highmark Stadium this season. Friday Night Lights on BTPM is proud to feature two C South teams early in the year. Week 2, the reigning sectional and regional champs Salamanca will go on the road to face the Springville Falcons. Should be a great matchup and a true test for the Springville Falcons, facing one of the best teams over the last decade in Western New York in Salamanca. Should be a great one from Springville, New York. Join us Week 2 on Friday Night Lights. One of the largest games in Class C North this season could be Week 5 when Medina heads to Eden North Collins. We'll be there with Friday Night Lights on BTPM Local Sports when the Raiders host the Mustangs. Could be for the divisional title and the top seed. We'll see.
This Friday Night Lights high school football preview show is presented by Villa Maria College with additional support from the WNED Foundation.